Hello and welcome to Cutter Farms. We're back with another episode of UMRV Upper Mississippi River Valley, and we are getting the slurry spread on our last field here. If we pop open the map, we've gotten some nitrogen put down on all of these other fields. We're going to put a little bit down here on field 6 now. I'm not sure where we're going to end up putting our soybeans versus our corn in the future planting cycle here. However, I thought we might as well just spread as much of this slurry as we can now before winter sets in, get everything in the fields, and we'll worry about which crops are going where later. Even if we do end up putting soybeans in here, I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. They'll put a little bit of extra nitrogen into the soil, but that corn that we'll follow up with is going to need a lot, so it's all going to work out. I'm hoping Courseplay is going to be able to handle the crazy corners and such in this field. We've got a little bit of a weird, pocket back here, but I think it's going to be able to take care of things no problem. So I'm just going to let this guy go and do his thing. We'll get a message if he gets hung up. And while he's doing that, we're actually going to jump into the sprayer here for a minute and see if we can back this thing up out of the shed. We have the grass fields that we just harvested, the grass fields that we just mowed and baled. We need to go and put down a little bit more nitrogen for those to grow and be completely productive. And we do have a little bit of liquid fertilizer left in this sprayer from earlier in the year, it looks like. So it's going to be a real easy job here to jump out here and spray these two little fields. They're not very big. And then we'll probably be jumping the time forward into November here just to check if I can get one last cut out of the other two fields here or not. Not sure yet. I don't feel like we've got quite enough hay to last the winter on feed just yet, especially since I'm only feeding the calves hay in that smaller barn over here by the harvesters. Now I do have precision farming on, so this should spray as needed. I don't have to worry about overspraying or going off the side of the field or anything. I'm definitely loving that this mod has full precision farming support. I don't know what the deal is with skipping a few little spots like that though, but we'll figure it out. Oh, it's not changing the color. I think it's still spraying though. I don't know what's going on in some of those areas. Maybe I'm just driving too fast. Either way, I turned a little too wide and we missed a couple spots back there. I'm gonna have to go back and clean that up now. Always trying to get everything done as efficiently as possible, but from time to time it seems like I've just messed things up. Well, that's all right. It'll give me a chance to see if I can figure out what's going on with those areas that I missed, because I just noticed that right here where we missed it, it sprayed it when I came from the other direction. So maybe I'll just try and go a little slower here. That doesn't seem to be doing anything. Well, let's go back over it like this. That's not doing anything either. The map doesn't exactly update well because we're not putting that much on. Grass doesn't actually require a ton of nitrogen, just a little bit, at least with the way precision farming's set up. I think they assume since you are getting 3 cuts of grass in a given season, that they have you just put a little bit on for each cut as opposed to trying to put the whole thing on at some point. So precision farming's definitely picking up that the ground texture hasn't changed here, but it's not actually applying anything. So I don't know. The nitrogen levels on the mini map look acceptable though, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. We're just going to call this field good enough. We'll get everything folded up here and run over and hit this other little field here real quick. I can see the manure spreader is going over here still. We should be able to wrap that field up pretty quick. It's a narrow implement, but when you can get these long straight rows, it does pretty good. Oh, we're still having problems with the hydraulics on this sprayer. The boom arms don't always come all the way back in. I always forget that I've got to try and fold it up on a level surface. Either way, we'll get it all unfolded here and see if we can knock this field out in a single round. Always try to do better than the previous field. I think this one is narrower overall. So we're gonna inch over here, see if I can keep my eye on the left side of this boom here. I don't want to get too far away from the edge and miss spraying some parts of the field. I think I see a little sliver of red back there where I might have missed a little bit, but that's all right. This field seems to be spraying a lot easier, and I should have turned tighter to avoid those trees. That's all right. Looks like I should widen this field out a little bit here at some point too. We were cutting into the ditch grass there, but I might as well get some tillage out here at some point and make this field a little bit wider. I should probably do that here in the fall rather than waiting for spring. So maybe that's the next job we'll do while we wait for that manure to get applied to the other field here, is I'll get the tillage equipment out and we'll see about making this field just a little bit bigger. Whoa, don't want to drive out into that ditch. I don't think this thing would enjoy that very much. And the auto height adjustment on these booms coming in handy a little bit. It's trying to put itself way down in the ditch there though. Don't think we need that to happen. And we'll try to learn from our previous encounter, and we'll fold this thing up on a level surface. Of course, once I till up some of the edges of this field, I suppose those areas won't have appropriate levels of nitrogen applied to them. We might need to jump back out here with the sprayer, but we'll worry about that when the time comes. I'm going to need to get this equipment out of the field so that we can get in here with the tillage equipment anyway. So I think we'll just put this thing right back in the shed over here in the short term, and then everything is out of the way. Don't need any equipment sitting out in the yard making our workers have struggles when they try to run up into the yard for refills. All right, we're gonna get this thing all unfolded here. I think I'm gonna make it wider both ways here. And this thing is so big, I just don't want to make a mess of this field. And I'm still getting used to these tracked turning vehicles here. So I'm going to get everything all lined up exactly where I think I want it here. I don't want to destroy too much of this driveway, but I will probably take a little bit of it out. And I think I've got create fields turned on. There we go. There it is. And we're just gonna bring it right on over to the edge here where I've been cutting. Get a whole nother pass out of this field with the mower equipment. Now the trick is gonna be when I get down here to the end. I always struggle to turn accurately with this big equipment. I don't want to be going way down into the ditch there, so I'm going to start turning. I want to get a nice gradual curve here. We might come back and try and get a little bit more of that. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, this should give us quite a bit more land area on this field where we're getting higher quality hay if we're able to apply our fertilizers. And this will be the part where I've got to be really careful with it. I don't want to get too close at all to the water down here. So I think as soon as I get this to catch up with the part of the field that's already there, we'll raise that up, try and minimize how much replanting I'm going to have to do. And then we'll get down here into the corner and we'll bring it back up, because I don't trust myself to try and make this tight of a curve with this big implement. Something like this. There we go. Looking pretty good. And then if I can just bring this right up here. There it is. Yeah, I think that's going to work pretty well for us. Now let me go back down here to the other edge. We'll take maybe just a little bit more. Oh no, we're getting too far. I was going to say I'm going to take just another foot or so off of this edge here, but my driving got a little sporadic there. So let me see if we can just do this. Oh, I don't have create fields on still. All right, well, we're way off anyway, so it's probably for the best that I don't have it on. I'm going to scooch across to the other side here and just see if we can clean some of this up. Now I plowed this area, but it didn't get rid of that tall grass. Y'all gave me a pointer on how to fix that in a previous episode, but now that it's been a long time, I'm not quite remembering. So let's jump in here. Landscaping. Paint plants, and then there was some way that I could remove. I think it's the right click. Nah, I got a left click to get this in here. All right, we'll come back in just a second and get rid of this grass now that I painted that in. But at least we got rid of the tall plants. There was a way somebody mentioned that I could just delete without having to paint grass and then plow it under. And I'll have to go back into the comments and figure that out, because I have already forgotten. It's been so long since we did the landscaping at the beginning of this series. And I've got create fields on this time. So let's see if I can widen this out just a little bit down here again. And then we'll be nice and in position here to take out that grass that we just added back in. Perfect. Crowd out here a little bit. Just like so. All right. So that's looking nice and snazzy. Got one little bit of tall grass there. That's all right. We'll leave it. We can still plant through that and mow the grass as normal, so I'm not too worried about it. And I'm going to take this guy over to the other side here, and we're going to see if there's anything I need to expand on this other field real quick. So I'm seeing a big chunk of grass down here that I think we could expand into. So what I'm going to do is pull this forward a bit. We are going to take out a little bit of this driveway when we do this, I think, but that's all right. Toss this thing down right here, and we're going to start taking a good chunk more of this. It's not too steep down there by the water, and I just got to stay away from the steep hill edges over here, I think. But we should be able to reclaim a little bit alongside this tree line here. And I have a similar problem with some of this tall grass, so I might not get quite as close as I might have. That's all right. We don't want to be fighting with the trees any more than we normally do anyway. So I'm going to just zip right through here. And I will expand a little bit of this hump here as well, I think. Not too much. I don't want to have too crazy of a course play course. I can't remember if we expanded this field a little bit in the past or not. It does seem to have a pretty organic shape to it already. And much like the other side, I don't want to get too much into this hill, but we can take another couple feet, I think. We're going to have to get the drill out and everything anyway. To fix this up, we might as well reclaim every little bit of pasture area here that we can. And there's the slurry tanker flying down the field. Must be time to refill. Be curious to see how much of that field he's got left after a full tank there. I can't imagine there's a whole lot left to go. We'll see though. And I'm going to start curving this in. I don't want to destroy too much of this nice driveway. Something like that. Yeah, that looks all right. We might round this corner out just a little bit with the grass tool, actually. But I think for the field expansion, we're actually in a pretty good spot. So we'll start putting this up, and I'll jump in here real quick. Plants, grass. I think we'll just give that a little bit more of a rounded edge there. Life will be so much easier. All right, well, I better get this back up to the farm and get that drill out. I'm curious, do I need to stop time, or is this something I can do in November as well? Grass, I can plant grass in November according to the seasons map here. So I think we'll do that. I'm gonna get this back up to the shed. We'll get switched over, get that drill out here for some grass, and see where things go. Looks like I've got a traffic jam to resolve anyway up here with the feed wagon. Now, I think usually I was using the other tractor to pull this drill around, but since it's busy with the slurry spreading, I'm going to go ahead and take this thing out real quick. We've got just another hour or so of daylight here. I'm going to turn on some lights and see if we can make sure that this is all set up and working. We may finish seeding this grass in the dark, or we may do it in the daylight here tomorrow. We'll see. But I figure as long as we've got workers hauling slurry out here to our fields, we might as well keep working on stuff ourselves. There we go, get a more realistic lighting situation going. All right, I got everything all unfolded here. Let's see how this goes. I love the air drill noises on this thing. Well, this is going to work out nicely, it seems. Probably geared down a little bit to help us up the hill. There it is. Yeah, I forget we can go a solid 12 miles an hour with this thing, so it really gets moving. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and actually try to plant all of the grass here right back in, even though it's just about nighttime. I'd like to get it all done in the month of October. Just, we'll say, abusing the game mechanics a little bit. I know that if I can get it done before the end of the month, the way the growth cycles kick in, I will get this grass to a ready to harvest state just a smidge earlier that way. I forget how many cycles it takes to fully grow, but we might as well take advantage of it while we can, and it'll be good. Now I'm planting over the other grass here, and it's turning that into kind of a I don't know, not a cultivated, but like a mulched status. I don't know if that's providing me with any kind of a fertilizer bonus or anything. I don't want to wreck too much of the grass in the middle, but I'm gonna have to wait until the side grass is the same height as the middle grass anyway. So I don't know, we're just winging it. We're almost done with this first field, and I'll jump over here into the second field and do the same thing just to get it all done in the month of October here. I'm pretty sure our slurry spreader is gonna be done right about the same time that I finish planting this grass. So from a timing perspective, I think that we've gotten everything done in a very efficient manner here, and we won't have anything left to do on the farm until planting season at this stage, if I'm not mistaken, other than feed the cows. But I've mixed up a fair amount of feed already for the cows and got them going on that, so I think we're going to be pretty good. I'm just trying to see over there. I do see the slurry spreader in the far back corner of that field, but he has having some problems. It looked like he left the course, so he probably couldn't turn tight enough and ended up on another field next door to us there. That's all right. We'll go check on him real quick. So he is out here, and yeah, it does look like he just struggled to stay on the course here. So what we'll do, I'll just do the full spin around, and we'll get him back on the course play course. Shouldn't be a big deal. I'm not sure why he went so far off here. This slurry spreader with the discs on the back is doing a nice job of converting everything over into a cultivated texture here. It's nice and smooth. I feel bad driving out here on the main part of the field. I should have probably turned out the other way. We'll go ahead and get this thing started though, and pull right back into our row and fire off the worker again. Should be good to go now. Might have some more problems on the other parts of the headland. It looks like this is not an actual stage where it's going to apply the fertilizer. It just needs to drive down to the other end of the field and start the headlands maybe. I don't know. We'll let it go. It'll figure it out. Coursplay's been pretty reliable with this equipment so far. Oh, I thought I got this guy starting to fold up while we were gone. This one takes a little bit to fold up the wings for whatever reason. We're almost out of grass seed though. That is a concern. We're down to 3%. I don't think that's going to be enough to finish out this field. We started with double-digit percentages of grass seed, if I'm not mistaken, so this is unfortunate. We're going to have to buy a pallet of seed somewhere, unless I've got some sitting in the shed still. We'll have to go look in a moment, but I think what I'll do is I'll run this seed down as much as I can, and we'll see if I can finish this field off. If we can't, we'll worry about buying some grass seed. I think I'll take this skinny part down here first, see if we can get this out of the way. The hardest parts first, and then everything is easy from there. Oh, we're going to end up in this lake at this rate. Luckily, we've got the tracks and the horsepower to get back out of here. And we'll head back up this way. I'm trying my hardest to not overlap too much. I just want to get the parts that we need planted and no more. Oh, I tried to switch back over here to the other side and didn't make the crossover quite as eloquently as I had hoped. Our seed reserves are dropping fast. We're down to 2% now. I expect we'll be down to 1% before I get to the end. There it is. So we're gonna, hopefully I can do the edge by the water here. That's what I really want to be able to do, is just finish out this part right here before we run out, just so I don't have to try and line back up on it. I think that's perfect. And then we'll take this as far as we can. We're at 0% seed. Don't know how long I can plant on 0%, but apparently for just a little bit. And at some point this thing is going to shut off, and I'm going to be completely out of seed. There it is. All right, well, up to the yard we go. See if we can find a pallet of seeds somewhere. I'm going to have to fold this thing up to get through the yard though. And it looks like we've got a few pallets of seed in the old shed here. I'm going to pull one of these out just to make our lives easier. And we're going to bring this drill right on over here and not get it topped off. I think I'm just going to put one pallet in here for now, because we might need those seeds for something else. There we go. Oops, I pulled away just a little bit too fast there. That's good. That's a fair amount of seed from a single pallet. Will be good to finish out the rest of this field for sure with this. Get spun back around here. You know, our yard feels pretty big until I start trying to move around it with this equipment, and then I'm always wishing we had just a little bit more room. And oh, that's right, the driveway is across from the other exit, not this one. I always forget that. I want to jump right across that ditch to start getting into this field all the time. I think what we'll do is try and get lined up on the outside over here this time. We'll follow this around to where we left off. And then I'll take care of all the little bits on the inside of the field. That's the plan. Interesting that it's planting a different texture on this section than the previous section. I'm not sure why that is. Whatever. We're just gonna keep going here and get our seed down. I think that's everywhere. For this part, I just need to finish taking this around for the, I don't know, half pass or so that the tillage equipment is wider than our drill. We'll circle all the way around to this field, and we will be done with all of our fieldwork tasks for October. I can still see the slurry tanker moving over there in the field, so all is well. It's always encouraging when it's when it keeps going. You can see the progress. And here we go, the last of our grass field expansion project. Good deal. All right, well, I'm gonna get this thing pulled back up in the yard, and I'll babysit the last few passes with that slurry tanker off camera here. I think this is a great place to wrap up today's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, helps me out a lot. That's all for today. Kedrick out.